Oh, so many games. So many games to talk about. We're on day 3 now of pumping out trailer discussion videos. We're almost done. This is the last one. I only got a couple left. Who's next? Next in line. Next, please. Mario Party Jamboree. Come on up, please. Up to the desk. Please have your ticket ready. In retrospect, I am surprised that I was surprised by this reveal, if that makes sense. Some people were suggesting the idea that we might see a new Mario Party game, and I was like weirdly quick to dismiss the idea. I don't really know why. I just like we're so late in the Switch generation that I'm like, nah, if they had something cooking, they would just save it. Just save it for Switch 2. But see, I forgot. This is Mario Party we're talking about. This is clearly one of those series that they have baking all the time. They're always cooking up a new Mario Party. Why not release another one now? It's actually been a few years somehow, just unfathomably, it's already been a good number of years since the last one. So why not give the Switch one more with this giant install base? The other two have sold absolutely crazy. If we're still like a whole year away from the Switch 2, by the time that comes along, they will already be a significant amount of the way into the next one. So just throw another one on the Switch. Why not? It actually makes sense now that I think about it. Especially because it is clear now that Nintendo is not ever gonna do Mario Party DLC, because it's always better to just work on the next one, but that's a bigger discussion for another day. So I'm gonna talk about this game. I will remind you, I'm not a big Mario Party fan. I've not been playing all the games for all these years, so, you know, I'm not gonna catch all of these little nuances, and, you know, I don't have my finger on the pulse of what exactly longtime fans have been wanting from the series. I do know that the last 2 games were kind of moving back in the right direction, because for a while they were doing the thing where everyone's in a car, but now it's like, I don't know, it's been a bit of a return to the classic model. And based on what I do know about the state of the series, and obviously based on what I'm seeing other people say, it does seem like this is even more of a good thing, even more of a return to the kinds of Mario Party games that people want to see. And the thing I really love about this game that I think makes perfect sense, after all these years, this series is so old, this is the final Mario Party game coming to the Switch, Nintendo's biggest system ever, so it makes sense that this Mario Party is just bigger. That's kind of this game's thing, is it's just the biggest Mario Party ever. Bigness seems to be the theme, and not like big, like getting a super mushroom and people get big. No, like just the game seems very large. Apparently it has the most mini games ever, over 110, which is quite impressive. It's got 7 boards, which is a good deal better than the last couple games, which seemed to be quite lacking. I didn't really mind too much, because again, I'm not like a really humongous fan who's been following along. But you know, apparently the little handful of maps that the previous 2 games have gotten weren't really doing it for people. So it's great to see 7 this time, and it's cool that they have 5 original ones and then 2 returning fan favorites. Always nice when they're just taking a look at what fans want. All that, you know, they're great with Mario Party and Mario Kart. They're great at knowing what people want, the kinds of specific boards and mini games and whatnot people like. I think that's cool. And the new maps do look really, really cool. I think all of these maps, I mean, the overall format, how this whole thing kind of takes place on like a series of islands, it's got a bit more of a sense of place, and I think that's neat. That's a cool, like, overarching theme that the game's got going on, makes it pretty cool. But then the new boards look very just interesting. They look very big and just dynamic. You know, each one seems to have its own really interesting just theme, mechanic, gimmick, if you want. You know, you've got this mall one where you're using escalators to switch between levels. I think that's very clever. And there's also like you can get discounts on stars. Come on, that's just cute. And then you've got the speedway where you're in race cars, you know, and not like all in one car like before, but like, no, you're in individual cars, and the whole mechanic here is that you can cross really enormous stretches of the map in one go. That's a really, really cool innovation. And you've got an island one, and it's got changing tides, which affects where you can and can't go. And then you got something, you know, the volcano erupts and something happens there. It's just really cool. All the boards seem to have really just cool, unique features. And boards have always had unique features, and I could be wrong, but it kind of feels like they're leaning a little bit more into that. You know, these features are a little bit more unique. They're more drastically going to change how you play on each map. Back on the subject of minigames real quick, the trailer did mention some motion-controlled minigames, but it seems like, you know, not all of them are motion-controlled. It's not like the first Mario Party game on Switch. There's just like some, and then even then it could potentially be optional, or at least like using those minigames is optional. I'm not 100% sure, but the primary focus is not on motion controls, and I definitely like that. I mean, like, motion-controlled minigames, they are fun in their own way, but, like, for the most part, I think if you want a title that just kind of stands the test of time and is a little bit more, like, fair and consistent and kind of puts every player on a kind of an even playing field, I really do think traditional controls are the way to go. So that's good to hear. So the really big new feature, the big new mode, and the thing that really hammers home how this is the biggest Mario Party ever is the Koopathlon. I'm glad they said the word in the trailer because I'm reading it. Koopathlon? What's a Koopathlon? No, the Koopathlon is 20 players. 20. I really do think it's funny how in the last few years, you know, battle royales were like the really big thing for a while. And Nintendo, I just love how much they've kind of played with it. You know, they haven't like really given us a full battle royale mode. There's no like 100-player battle royale Splatoon or anything like that. But they seem to have taken a real shine to just the concept of taking a bunch of players and having them all play at the same time. And that makes sense. It's a very like interesting, chaotic kind of dynamic. And it's just fun to see how Nintendo has played with it. And they're doing it again here in Mario Party. So 20 players. Naturally, the knee-jerk reaction, I'm worried about the online. The online in the other games, I did not play a lot, but the results were pretty darn inconsistent. You know, these were some of those early days of NSO when I couldn't seem to have a good experience. It just was almost impossible. You know, you're playing games in slow motion, the ridiculous amounts of lag, players teleporting all over the place, just being booted from games all the time. Nintendo Switch Online is not great. It's just not great. I want to say maybe it's been improving at the same time. There have been some games that other people have said it's improved and it's getting better, and then I'll play it and I'll have a horrible time even though I have really good internet. So, I don't know, all that to say, I am worried about it working at all, because if it's not smooth and it does not work well, then it's just not going to be worth anything. But if it does work, then what a terrific idea. What an amazing idea. I'm not even the biggest Mario Party fan, and yet the idea of playing not with 3 other players, but 19 other players, that sounds like so much more fun. That sounds so chaotic. You know, of course, in terms of like competition, you're just going up against so many other people, and so there's all these things that can happen, and it's Mario Party, so there's going to be all of these upsets, and it's going to be really crazy. But then even just the minigames themselves, the fact that they're going to have to design a whole bunch of minigames made for 20 players, that's going to dramatically affect how these things are designed, and they're going to be particularly chaotic. And I don't know, I'm really excited to see what other clever ways they thought of to utilize that many players all at once. Just design-wise, I just can't wait to see what they cooked up. And 20 players also, perhaps best of all, means lots and lots of playable characters. Playable Ninja? You kidding me? After all these years, playable Ninja? That is awesome. I'm a big Ninja stan. I believe that they deserve a greater place in the Mario universe, in the Mario canon. So finally being able to play as a Ninja, that's really, really cool. And I do wonder if there are going to be like even more unlockable characters that aren't here, or if it's really just going to be this batch. I don't really know, but playable Ninja, that's awesome. And then right at the end of the trailer, they teased even more modes, which is not surprising. Mario Party loves all of its modes, and it makes sense if you're going to come up with all of these mini games and maps and mechanics and such. Like, why not give us a whole bunch of cool modes? And we don't know what those modes will be. Seems to be something related to carrying each other around in a net. I don't know. Net mode. I just don't know. But yeah, Mario Party Jamboree looks Super Mario Party Jamboree. Does that mean that Super Mario Party is its own series now, because we had Super Mario Party, and then Mario Party Superstars, but then this is not just Mario Party Jamboree, it's Super Mario Party. So this is a sequel to the first Switch Mario Party, but not the second one. It's confusing. It's really confusing. I'm just glad the word Jamboree does not have the word, is not related to the word star. That's a good step. And I can't help but think about how, you know, these other Mario parties being able to play online. Now you get a bunch of goofy YouTubers together streaming themselves playing. I'm thinking, like, are we gonna have like 20 YouTubers? Are they all gonna be mic'd? Is that possible? Is that way too chaotic? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out. If the online works well, I do think that this game has a lot of potential. This really does have the potential to be a really particularly special Mario Party. Really great opportunity for the series to kind of go out with a bang on the Switch, you know? And I'm looking forward to playing it. Next, please. Next in line. Yep. There's DK coming up to the counter. Oh, sir, I'm gonna need you to pick up that banana peel. Come on. This is not the jungle. Can't just throw banana peels all over the place. Is that a coconut gun? You can't bring that in here, man.